Good morning. Welcome back. If you are new here, this is a channel that I use to document a 1 year long project where I'm keeping a super tight budget. I'm doing a low buy of sorts, and I do that because it's helping me to pay off my student loans as much as I possibly can. My initial goal has been to use 75% of my net income to pay off debt, and that is proving to actually be impossible because I need 30% of my income to live on. It turns out my expenses reduce down to that and go no further lower. So the goal is a little something just awkward that I keep trying for, but when I hit near 70% of my income used, I'm pretty pleased. Today, I just was going to start doing an August week by week. I've never kind of documented the month as it goes along. I usually share how the financial side of things worked out only at the end of the month. So anyway, this first week of August, I was paid at work, which was awesome. I have done a couple of side jobs recently that I'm going to end up kind of rolling the income into August because they were just at the very end of July and I'd already recorded and used my resources in July. So they count as income now and all of that. And then the really exciting thing financially for me is I sold a vehicle about a week ago. I have a 4Runner, and that's my everyday, well, it's not even every day, it's about once a week use vehicle. And then I walk everywhere here in Sandpoint or use my bicycle. And I also had a Honda Ruckus. And if you know scooters at all, you know that Honda Ruckuses are fun and reliable and they hold their value really well. And I loved having a Honda Ruckus. When I was still living in Washington, it was my only vehicle for a little over 2 years. And I just got a good, head to toe rain suit. And I used the Ruckus in all seasons out in Seattle and out on the islands and the peninsula where I was living. So it was great and it served me very, very well. But I sold it. And I sold it because here in Idaho, I could use it in the summer and I really enjoyed it. It's always a good time, but then I would need to wrap it up for the winter and I don't have the best place to store it anymore. I don't have a garage. And so wrapping it in a tarp and just kind of hoping that it doesn't get too damaged through the winter is definitely one way to reduce its value over just a couple of years. So, and I mean, I would put like stabilizer in it and, I took care of it, but I know that just the weather itself and in the spring, it was always a little harder to start for these 2 winters that it's had here in Idaho. So I wanted to just give it the life of maybe somebody who can park it indoors in the wintertime at least. And I knew that while it still had as much value as possible, it was completely unmodified. Originally, it's a 2007. And so I just wanted to get as much as I could out of it, thank it for the good years that I had with it, and they were great. But this last week, I did sell it to a couple that moved here, and they will take care of it how they will take care of it, but they were excited and pleased the way I had taken care of it. They paid me just a skosh more than I had actually purchased it for. And so while I didn't break even on it, I almost did. So I got 3 years, just over 3 years. And no, it's been more than that. I got close to 4 full years of use out of that Ruckus. And I rode it 7,000 miles. And I actually kept track of every tank of gas I put in it. I just kind of decided I would do that with that vehicle. I'd never been a statistician of my vehicles before. But I filled it up 70 times. It gets about 100 miles per gallon. And I also tracked that. And I always did get 100 miles per gallon. And so I just kind of estimated if each of those tanks of gas was around 350. Sometimes in Washington it was higher, and here sometimes it was definitely lower. And Anyway, I just nearly broke even on the cost of the vehicle itself and the fuel use, but I didn't break even if you bring into account registering it and insuring it, even though motorcycle insurance is thankfully pretty affordable. But anyway, I got good use out of it. I got fantastic use out of it. I will miss it probably a little, but I'm really excited that it's sold and sold for what I first asked, and that money is going to go straight onto my student loans while there's no interest. So, as you know, I'm trying to pay off at least $10,000 of my principal while there's no interest because of the CARES Act. And this is definitely going to make that $10,000 possible. And so I kind of don't want to count this money towards the 10K. I want the 10K to be accomplished with my regular income, but it would be foolish to put this money anywhere else but onto that debt while it has zero interest. So I'm certainly going to use it onto the loan and get as much principal crushed as possible while there's no interest. But I will keep this kind of separate from the tally towards the 10K. So when we get done at the end of September, we should have a 10K and then some paid off while there was no interest. So I'm happy about that, and it's nice to have been paid and kind of look at my whole first half of the month, income and expenses, paid some bills, got things done, taken care of, and I will update you as we go. I know that the main challenge that I will have this month is my new low-buy rules, which are to, as always, leave access to my money at home and out of my hands day to day, and that I just have a small allowance that I can use for little impulses that come along. And in that way, I can limit the damage that my impulse buys might create. So in the coming week, I will be practicing that discipline, and I will let you know how it goes. I hope you're having a nice morning, and I will see you in a week.